Hello everybody, my name is Lucas, aka the Frozen Controller, and today is the Store Championship, which used to be called Game Day. Store Championship just makes it sound more professional, I guess? I don't know. But what I thought I would bring up here is a couple standard decks that I've made that I think are really quite powerful and quite competitive. One of these is a deck I made for myself to play, and another is a deck that I put the list together for a friend. So I'm gonna go over these decks, just not in depth, just like, because one of them I've already gone into in depth, but just like give a basic idea. The idea isn't to give you a deck list to build, it's to give you something that you can build off of if you want to. Also, it's just a good idea for getting to know some of the powerful archetypes of Standard right now. So the first one, and I've built, is Blue-White Approach. Pretty straightforward deck. You draw cards, you play Approach, you win the game. The second time you play Approach. But the first thing that's key to this is drawing cards. So with that in mind, you want many different ways of drawing cards. Things like Desert of the Mindful and Renewed Faith that you cycle to draw cards. Arch of Arazka. If you have the City's Blessing, you can draw a card every turn. Opt. It's modern good, so it's definitely standard good. And Glimmer of Genius. It's basically an upgraded version of Opt. You get twice the scry, twice the draw, and you get some energy if you have a way to use that. Then, the other thing you'll want in a deck like this, things to deal with aggro decks. Main board. Authority of the Consuls shuts down any aggro deck with ease. No contest. Excellence Binding. Great answer to big aggro creatures. Also great answer to planeswalkers, which is something that blue-white kinda has trouble with sometimes. And Fumigate. Always run it as a 4-of. If you don't run it as a 4-of, 3 main, 1 side. Like, it's too good to not have as a 4-of in your list, in my opinion. Then win conditions. Obviously, it's Blue-White Approach. Get Approach to the Second Sun. But what if you get Lost Legacy? Just run some big creatures like Azor the Lawbringer or Cryptic Serpent. Or if you get really deep into it, you can even run Aether Scroll Ancient, which basically is a board wipe every 3 turns. You can only do it anytime you cast a sorcery, but still. Puts everything back in your opponent's hand. If there's some big things, then they have to recast everything. And yeah, it gets messy. Sideboard's pretty straightforward. You want something to deal with artifacts, Martyr Vehicles is still a thing. You want something to deal with creatures, because creature decks are the norm. You want negates to deal with the mirror match, or just in general, good card. And then you want some bounce spells to deal with those pesky, low curve, fast creatures. If your meta supports them, you can also run Deadlock Trap as a way to deal with planeswalkers, and Failure to Comply as a way to deal with Carnage Tyrant. Now the other deck I'm going to be talking about, as you may know from the red sleeves, Merfolk. This one's also pretty simple, and I've actually gone in depth into that video. I would put a link in the description. I'll put a link in the description anyway. You want some low curve Merfolk. You want Tremendous Speaker. You want Mistcloak Herald. You want Branchwalker, Silvergill. River Sneak is also good, just because it can't be blocked. Then you're gonna want some low to high curve utility Merfolk like Mistbinder, Dungleborg Pioneer, Tempest Caller, and Herald of Secret Streams. Of course, these are just win conditions. To help you with getting the right cards when you need them, for one of the Heralds. You just play down. You can search up Lord, Tempest Caller, Herald of Secret Streams, whatever. You're going to be casting a lot of Merfolk spells, so Deep Root Waters is a good card for a slow, grindy game. though maybe only has a 2 of. 4 does, in hindsight, seem a little greedy, but if you get 4 out, just board state. Just as long as they don't play Fumigate. Main board aside, let's look at the sideboard. It's green-blue. You want an answer to things with flying, since you're probably not running anything with flying in the main board. So, 2 of Plummet. Naturalize, just one way to deal with artifacts and enchantments. One of the best ones in green. Crook of Condemnation. Blue-white Godfather's Gift is running around, so you need something to deal with the graveyard. Negate Spell Pierce. Deal with non-creature spells. Good against control decks. Good against approach decks. Life Goes On Swift Warden. Just deal with removal heavy decks pretty easily. Like, you flash out Swift Warden in response to, say, an Ixalan's Binding entering the field. And, yeah, you can win the game because you fizzled a removal spell. So obviously, yeah, I've left it a little open to interpretation as for what the actual contents of the deck are. However, there are a couple things that are mistakes a lot of people make, but they can completely ruin the deck. First one I'm going to mention is with Approach. Some people only put in 1 copy of Approach. Now, if you get Lost Legacy, 1 copy, 3 copies doesn't really make a difference. But that means 1 counterspell completely ruins you with 1 copy. Plus, you're not guaranteed to draw it. That's why I run 3 copies. And I would say don't run 4 copies. 4 copies is probably way too many. Not way too many, but it's probably too many. But 3 copies is the sweet spot, because with 2, I felt I wasn't drawing it enough for it to be a reliable win condition. 3 I am, and, well, if you're someone who would run 1 of these, seriously? Like, 1 negate messes up your entire plan. Which means you'd be required to have more ways to deal with means you'd be required to have more ways to win the game. Which just takes more slots out of the deck than having the 2 extra approaches would. Also, it's worth throwing some counterspells in. I've personally gone with Cancel and Countervailing Winds, just because if you're cycling a lot of stuff, Countervailing Winds is a great card. Also, Supremo counts as a counterspell, but also counts as a sifting spell, which makes it doubly good. Some other honorable mentions for deck ideas would be something along the lines of a Tendershoot Dryad Tokens deck with, like, Anointed Procession, Anointed Priest. Just make a swarm of tokens, gain a ton of life. You could probably run the dinosaur that makes tokens when it gets damaged. Like, there's so many ways you could do it. And it would probably be a pretty decent deck. Of course, it would get better as soon as the Llanowar Elves gets reprinted in Dominaria, which I'm very much looking forward to. The set looks amazing. Also, there's a lot of cards I want for Commander and stuff. Thank you everyone for watching this video. If you liked it, please feel free to leave a like. Subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.